The man suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach and could not stand straight. At the hospital he learned it was advanced pancreatic cancer. He was told he had about 3 months left to live, so Jingxian walked heavily to his mother's grave. He began accusing her for being so heartless, saying she claimed to love him but abandoned him when he was 7, and because of that he gave up the woman he loved just for revenge. He never imagined his mother would leave him nothing good, only this cruel inherited illness. Meanwhile Silan was still chatting with her American landlord about the renovation. The landlord told her the lease had already been cancelled. Hearing this Silan immediately panicked. Could it be that her husband changed his mind about moving to America with her? Worried she tried calling Jingxian right away to ask what happened, but his phone was turned off. She rushed to the hospital to find him but was told he didn't come to work today. She had no idea that her husband was suffering terribly from his illness, in unbearable pain and barely holding on. Knowing he didn't have much time left, the desperate Jingxian decided to end his own life. He didn't want to endure the slow torture of the disease. Before dying he wanted to take someone with him, so he broke into his adoptive mother's house, intending to end both their lives together. His behavior frightened the elderly woman. She begged him again and again to spare her. At that moment Jingxian remembered how he had once begged his adoptive mother when he was a child. He had always been so innocent growing up. Why did every misfortune have to fall on him? Those who did wrong never seemed to face any punishment, yet he who had done nothing wrong ended up with cancer. In the end Jingxian couldn't bring himself to hurt his adoptive mother. Silan thought her husband wanted to reconcile with Ningqiu after her divorce. In anger she threw their wedding photos on the floor. Because Jingxian didn't want her to know about his illness, he chose to stay silent. He didn't realize how deeply his silence was hurting her. Because of the heavy cancer medication he had to take daily, Jingxian could no longer give his wife the life she wanted. So he finally asked Silan for a divorce. Even when misunderstood he didn't try to explain. He only begged her to let him go to America alone. Silan loved him too much to let go. She also didn't want him to reunite with his ex-girlfriend. Seeing that his wife refused to divorce left Jingxian helpless, he decided to end his remaining days on his own terms. Before that he asked Minqiu to meet him one last time. Pretending they were just siblings he asked her for 3 hours alone. As they walked there was no longer any trace of their old feelings. It made Jingxian remember how their love used to be. That happiness was long gone. So Jingxian said a brief goodbye to Minqiu, and lied that he and his wife would soon move abroad. While they were talking his symptoms flared up again. Not wanting her to notice, he lied saying his stomach hurt and he needed the restroom. In truth he just needed a private place to take his medication. After a while the pain began to ease. Realizing he would soon leave this world, Jingxian still could not let go of his feelings for Minqiu. Before parting he made one small request, to hold her for one last minute like before. Minqiu couldn't refuse because she still cared for him. She simply thought he was leaving Korea for good. When Silan saw that her husband was determined to divorce her, she finally gave up completely. Since he was so determined to leave her, there was no point in holding on anymore. So Silan signed the divorce papers, letting her husband reunite with his old love. The next day Jingxian pretended to leave the country with his luggage. Silan as his ex-wife saw him off one last time. Neither of them knew this would be their final farewell. Silan had no idea that Jingxian's departure was his way of quietly ending his own life.